How's everybody tonight? This our first meeting, our first virtual meeting, and we have Arthur with us. He
He's
looks so
excited.
excited, doesn't he? And this is the dog that we just took in about a little over a week ago, and he was going kennel crazy. The very first day I had him, he bit me in the face, and now you can see he's a nice, sweet little guy. He just needed to get out of there. So this is why our mission is so important. Um, I want to thank you all for joining us. I love the new platform that we're doing with reaching all of you at once. And we have a lot of exciting things to talk about tonight. And another thing that we're adding that is not in the lineup is, as you could tell by looking at our website and our Facebook, is we're taking in a lot of dogs and cats, and we need additional help. And you've all been offering to do this from the start, and now we're going to say, okay, come on over. So we're happy to have some volunteers raise their hand for that as well. And you can type in about that later. We need dog walkers, and also if you haven't joined the page, the Facebook page for the dog therapy training, then also get in touch with me or Carolyn Pope. She's in charge of that. So that's what I have on the dog front. And I'm going to hand it over to my dear hubby to talk some more.
Well, thank you. Hi, everybody. This is exciting to do a virtual uh, meeting like this, and we hope all are doing well. I reflect back often about the first time we went to permitting, and there was 75, 100 people down in between downstairs and coming up to the lobby. I said, "Who are all these people?" They're people that want to be involved, and everybody has been so wonderful, so kind. It's continued that way through this, what feels like a long journey, but it also kind of feels like it was just yesterday we were standing in the courtyard too. So I am going to talk a little bit about uh, construction. And believe it or not, we have there's two critical pieces to move us forward. We call it move dirt. The first piece is the water retention plan. That has been approved locally, and now it's a state. So we'll hear something, but we don't expect any hangups there at all. The engineers locally have all agreed with the plan, and it's a good one. The second piece is we're out for bids right now to start moving the dirt, and we can start that as soon as we get the bids back, and they should be back any day. So that's great. The second piece that we have to do before we can actually start construction is the wastewater piece. We ran into a snag there, and that's drug us out for a few months, but it didn't matter because we were already tied up in the retention piece. All of that, we've got two engineers working on that, and we were briefed again today. They've talked to state. Everybody's in agreement. We just need to put uh, some technical stuff together to get that going. So that takes care of wastewater. And so we see that happening somewhere in the next month or two. We're still pushing hard. I say pushing hard to start pushing dirt sometime by fall if we possibly can. That's right around the corner. So what you're looking at is a picture. The architects are already starting the drawing process. This is, most of you have probably seen this. It's our Welcome Center proposal, and it's a two-story building. There'll be several people working out of that building. That'll be the first building that guests will see as they enter into the sanctuary. And right behind it, tied to it, is vet, the animal hospital and clinic. This is an inside view. That's actually a two-story building, glass front, glass back, and it points towards the lake. So it's a really picturesque picturesque view. And this internal piece just shows a donation area that we have, the dark wall, which will be for corporate supporters and that type of stuff. So it'll very nice, but it'll set a nice impression as people pull into the sanctuary. So that's great. So that's the construction as it goes right now. We're moving along. It doesn't feel like it, but we are moving along. And when the dirt starts moving, everything starts happening pretty quickly. So we're excited about that. And I'll also repeat, we would love your help. We need dog walkers. So people have asked us for a year. We want to help. Give us a call, text us, email us, and we'll work out a plan where we can get people out on a regular basis where we can walk some of the dogs. As we've opened, we've really picked up our population here at the house, and so any help would really be appreciated. Okay, I have the pleasure. You're going to see tonight, without tipping anything, the lady that you're looking at is Joni Thompson. She is our Chief Director of Strategic Planning and Community Outreach. She has a really big job, and we're working her hard.
And a big heart. We love her.
She's amazing. And I can't wait for you to hear more about her in the future. But she's going to talk about a lot of things that we have coming that demonstrates the kind of activity and how busy we're going to be and how much we need you to be engaged in this. And if you've got friends and family that you can get engaged in it, please do, because we need volunteers in a major way right now. Okay, so Joni, if you're there, thank you, and take it over.
Take it away.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, my name's Joni, and I live in central Indiana as well. And it has been a delight to get to know Pamela and Mike and work with Jason and several others and see what they've been working on for the last year and a half. And we're now at a point where we really have a way to engage volunteers, and things are ratcheting up fairly quickly. So the more, the merrier. And so what I'd like to do tonight is to go through a little slideshow and just show you some of the things that we have in mind. Mike already talked about the need for dog walkers, and that's exciting because even a month or two ago, it wasn't time to have people on site. But in addition to doing animal care, there are a lot of things that we're wanting to do with marketing and awareness and fundraising. So we'll look at this slideshow, and I love this happy dog photo that we found, but it really is all about teamwork. No one person can do everything by themselves. And when we engage volunteers, you come with new ideas and talents and skills and connections, all of the things that we need to really strengthen Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary. We literally will not be able to maximize our potential without your involvement and your help. You are an invaluable part of the puzzle. So, briefly said, we're glad you're here. There are some major categories. This is not everything, but when we're looking at where do we need the most help in between now and the end of the calendar year, these are the areas that we are going to focus on with tonight's presentation. Hopefully you have attended one or both of the Faith's Book Nook series. We have a fundraising event called Fetch that's coming up. We're planning a virtual 5K that will take place in October, an auction in November, and then along the lines of creating awareness, similar to Faith's Book Nook, will be online classes, storytelling, and marketing. And obviously we need a small army of talented, invested folks to make all these things happen. So we're going to broaden our audience, share our story, and explore how you, as volunteers, can really help us to spread the word, the news, the mission, the goals of Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary. So, Faith's Book Nook. If you've seen one or both episodes, please put a comment in the box. And Faith, obviously, is a dog that Pamela and Mike rescued when they were out in Utah at Best Friends, and they brought her home to Indiana, and she has developed quite the personality, and she is the official ambassador for Grateful Rescue. So Faith's Book Nook is all virtual. It's an online program that we are currently doing every Wednesday evening around bedtime, 7:30 to 8. And we will be featuring guest readers along with their furry friends. And it's really targeted for the pre-K to maybe fourth grade audience. So how can volunteers help? This is a program that we see to be ongoing. We have the month of August is scheduled, and Pamela has already identified at least 2, maybe 3 of the readings for September. But we would like for this to be an outreach program for the sanctuary and basically be featured each and every month. And so to do that, we need a planning committee. Probably 4 to 6 volunteers. You could be teachers or just have a love of reading or simply want to help. But the planning committee will work with Pamela to identify what are the books that would be chosen to be read, who are the guest readers, and they could be anybody in the community. If once or twice a month we could have a quote unquote celebrity, that would just help to spread the word a little bit. We also need all volunteers to help us to contact schools throughout Indiana, but especially in central Indiana to get started. You know, who could we let know at an elementary school that we have this program so that they could promote it to their parents and their families? And then we also, for some of the content, want to have a takeaway at the end of the evening. Maybe it's a how-to or a guide or a picture to color, something for the kids that could be delivered as a PDF, an electronic file. And we need ideas. What could we share with them? And if anyone has talents in drawing, creating, writing, certainly looking for that. And last but not least, everybody can help us spread the word through your own social media and with your friends, neighbors, and family. Another idea that we know has been working well during COVID, and we see that the shift has already happened. And so people are going to continue to love online learning long after we've gotten back to a more normal existence. But online learning is where we can create classes, and the subject matter is broad and far-ranging. But can we have a class that we offer that would interest certain people in the community, and they join because they want to learn how to paint or to do jewelry making or to learn how to do public speaking? So they come because of a common interest. But while they're there, we educate them about Grateful Rescue and Sanctuary. We let them know that we exist, why we exist, and how they can get involved. So some ideas that we know are already out there. I won't read through the list. You can do that yourself. But, you know, how do you make healthy, quality homemade dog treats? Physical fitness, that's good for people as well as for pets. Yoga or meditation or stretching or whatever it might be. Health and wellness, photography, craft beers, anything like that that we think might draw interest because of common shared interest in a hobby or learning something new. So how can volunteers help? Well, we need a planning committee. So we need to probably have 6 to 8 people on a planning committee that their focus is on what are the classes that we could offer, what would have the broadest range of interest for people, and then to identify and to evaluate people who could teach those classes. When we get the schedule together, maybe it's once a month, once a week, 2 or 3 times a quarter. That's up to the committee, but we would create the schedule and then put together the marketing approach. And you would work with our team at Grateful to use our e-newsletter and social media platform. And we have texting ability, a lot of ways that we can help spread the word. But that committee would help us to come up with the marketing approach. And then, like everything else, spread the word through your own social media, your friends, your neighbors, your coworkers. Another way that we're trying to build awareness about Grateful Rescue is through storytelling. There is no one that doesn't enjoy a good story. And when people hear stories, just like Pamela talked a little bit about Arthur, and he was miserable in the kennel, and so she was called, can you take him? And in just a couple of days' time, it has made the world of difference for him. We can tell simple stories to complicated stories, but what we're trying to do is to get people to become emotionally invested in Grateful Rescue. And once they've done that, once we've hooked them in that way, we'll ask them to sign up to get our newsletter, to buy a tennis ball for Fetch, to participate in the 5K, to adopt a cat or a dog, or to foster or to surrender. There are any number of ways that we can get people to be involved once we have grabbed their attention and their heart. So how can volunteers help with that? We're going to have a communications committee. Again, probably 4 to 6 volunteers on that committee. We need people who are either amateurs or professional photographers, because we need a lot of really good quality photos as well as video, because we all know that video is king in terms of communication and social media. We also, as part of our education outreach program, some of the things that we're going to put in our content, our e-newsletter, on the website, on social media, are going to be informational how-to content that if you love to surf the web, and if we gave you a subject matter and said, can you go find everything possible about health and wellness and the benefits of a healthy lifestyle with pet ownership, if that sounds like something you'd enjoy doing, we could use you. And then we'll also have the communications committee help us brainstorm ideas and content for our monthly e-newsletter. And once again, the biggest way that we can spread communications is through social media and your own personal network. Now we're going to move into volunteer opportunities that have to do with fun and fund with a D raising, because everything that we do at the sanctuary has to have financial backing. We need donations, we need financial support, because having the heart is not enough. Coming up first is a new game called Fetch, and it has been scheduled for Saturday, September the 12th. And it's very simple. It's a game of chance using numbered tennis balls. We have partnered with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office, and they have 4 trained canine German Shepherds. They're going to be our retrievers. They'll go into the field of balls 10 times each, so we'll have 40 winners. And this is going to raise a lot of money for the sanctuary. How can volunteers help? We don't need a big planning committee for this one, quite honestly, because it's coming up so soon. But if we had maybe a couple, 3 of you that were interested in really helping us to refine the messaging and the how-to right now, we'd love to have you. We have probably 800 to 900 tennis balls have already been donated, so we're good there. We are going to need people to number those tennis balls, and there'll be some other minor things that we can do for fetch. Virtual 5K, the exact date has not been selected, but we are planning on a late October event. This is virtual. We know it works because we have some really good nonprofit models out there. We have the platform to use. Here we need a planning committee. Again, probably 5 to 7 people. You could be, if you've done a walk or a run in the past, that is a benefit. That would help us even more. But if you're new to the process, you're more than welcome. We're going to look at best practices that are already being used and incorporate and apply those to our own planning. And the reason we're doing it is because it's great exercise, heart health, and you can hang with your dog. A 5K is 3.1 miles, and rather than for a physical event where you do it in one day, a virtual 5K gives people typically 1 week to accomplish this. And during that week, every day we have to have a marketing angle, a class angle. Pamela and I have talked about maybe doing a treadmill for dogs series, something like that. Something that's fun, it attracts attention through social media, and it draws people to the platform to sign up and to participate. How can you help? Once again, a planning committee. We are also looking for 1 or more corporate sponsors. So if you know of a company that you think might be interested in such an activity, all you have to do is give us the name and a contact, and we'll do the rest. Help us collect prizes for people, participate yourself, and invite others to participate and share on social media. We do have an online auction. It is scheduled and it has been named. We have named it Endless Possibilities, and it will take place online November 7th through the 14th. This is basically a pivot. We're going to use that overused word. It's a pivot from what was to have been an in-person gala on September the 19th. And we decided under the circumstances that wasn't the best course of action, but we'd already started to collect auction items. So we decided, let's do an online virtual auction. Again, we have examples of other nonprofits that have done them. We have a platform that we're going to be using called One Cause. We know exactly how it's going to be set up, but we need to have help in doing several things for that. Planning committee, this one probably could be 3 to 5 people. Because there is a strong platform already, the planning committee is going to be more about the marketing of the auction itself. We do need some help in photographing auction items. Because it's virtual, you don't have people in a room. They can't look, touch, feel an item. So we've got to, just like a good food photographer, we're going to have some really awesome photographs of our auction items so that visually through a computer screen or a phone screen, people can get a good sense of the item that they're interested in. We also have to have some written descriptions for cataloging those items. Again, not only visual, but the written word can help draw somebody in and tell them that they just can't live without a certain item. And then we'll ask volunteers to participate and to share on social media and with friends and family. Those are some of the biggest areas. There's one more coming up here in a minute, but being able to virtually engage with a really broad audience is at the heart of what we must do. And that can be done through volunteer efforts, through the events like Facebook Nook or our storytelling, or through fundraising events like Fetch, the 5K, or the auction. It is our job and our task to let as many people know about Grateful Rescue and how it is different than the average shelter. And so that comes through messaging, and we will depend heavily on you as volunteers to help us make that happen through committee work, through sharing the information, any skills that you have, talents with photography and videography and writing and researching. Any of that is going to be priceless to us as we move forward. And we may not have covered things that you have seen working for other nonprofits or in other communities, and we welcome your ideas. Don't be shy in saying, have you thought about, and give us an idea that you have seen work. So really what we're trying to accomplish through our volunteer program is a cross between fundraising and awareness, basically putting all the puzzle pieces together. One last thing that kind of fits in both categories, it could be fundraising, but it could just be awareness building and something fun to do, similar to Facebook Nook. We have seen a lot of organizations that are doing virtual programming. Now, this is different than the classes. These are programs that are really geared toward families, or they could be geared toward adults, or both. But examples could include the list that you see there. The Beehive Tour, I'll expand on that just slightly. This is an organization based in Colorado called Shining Stars Camp, and they work with cancer kids. And what they did was a virtual tour of a big honey farm that was near them. And so they got to go behind the scenes and look at bees up close and personal, and they had a beehive person who has a name, but I don't remember it, talking about bee behavior and making honey. And then I think they ended up with some really good recipes for using honey. So one idea is, do we have something cool that we could do a behind the scenes tour of a place or a facility in central Indiana that we could go and visit? Bingo is always good. We already did bingo earlier in the summer, but we can do themed bingo, circus, superheroes, where everyone dresses up like their favorite circus hero to do the bingo game. Make your own ice cream social. There's just all kinds of things that are out there. And so this is something that could be a cross between, depending on the audience, we could charge a nominal fee to participate, or it could be a free service. How can you help? This too would need a planning committee. So this would be for all you creative souls out there, people who are really interested in coming up with some unique, fun ideas for families, and the same thing maybe that it's geared toward adults. You know, maybe it's how to make your own craft beer, or how to make wine or vinegars or something. I don't know. It would be perfect, especially if we're going to offer this as a public service. It would be really, really, really good to have a corporate sponsor so that we had some financial underwriting for the program. We would select a month at a time, and we might not do every month. Maybe it's every other month, or it's once a quarter. The committee can make that kind of scheduling decisions. And then we would have to identify and evaluate people that are qualified to lead those certain programs that we offer, because at the end of the day, they really have to be top-notch and high quality, because they are representing Grateful Rescue. So to conclude this, right now we have about 78 or 81, I think, registered volunteers with Grateful Rescue. What we want to do is, I'm going to be sending a survey. It's an online survey, and it will go to your email that we have for you on record. I really encourage you to complete that survey. It takes 5-6 minutes at most. Complete it, return it online. It's very secure. It comes back directly to me. We don't share it with anybody outside of our organization. And then we're going to compile those results and see how all of you self-identify in terms of your area of interest, your skill sets, your talents, where you see yourself working the best and where you would get the most enjoyment out of volunteering for Grateful Rescue. So we are literally just getting started. And so first of all, you'll complete and return that survey. Second, if you have any questions or ideas that we didn't cover, please send those to me. My email address is on the screen. And the other thing I would encourage you to do is, if you have friends, neighbors, family members who are looking for a way to get involved in a meaningful way, or if there's something that we covered tonight and one person came into your mind immediately because they have awesome photography skills, or they've planned a 5K or run, share this information with them. Have them tell them what a great organization Grateful Rescue is. And now that we have all these different ways for people to roll up their sleeves and get involved, we are ready for a small army of volunteers to help us. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Pamela and Mike.
Thank you, Joni. So, as you can see, there's a lot of things down the pike, a lot of things happening. We are shaking ourselves out of the plant, grow, sow, and then plant again. We are, let's put it this way, we're planting every other week. We've got, and this is the way it's going to be right up through opening the doors of the sanctuary. We're really engaging. We're so excited about the growth in, for instance, the internet, the website. I did a look a few days ago at analytics, and we've covered 46 of the 50 states. And we get applications from California to New York City, or to New York State rather, for people wanting pets. And we haven't even, and we're working out of a pretty small footprint right at the moment. We know there's a lot of interest in this opportunity. And we're so excited to have you with us in this and helping us get these things done. So, with that,
we want to say thank you. Thank you so much. Oh.
And Joni, thank you. And Jason Jason made
There
this
he is.
production possible. He's amazing and he's helped us so much. So thank you, Jason Heath.
Thank you. And with that, we'll have this meeting posted online tonight, so those who missed the beginning can see the rest of it and share it with friends.
Thank you all so very much.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care. We
Thank
hope to see you soon.
Bye-bye now. Thanks.
Okay, bye.